few things to consider when you're looking at beats. First, I mean, maybe the biggest comparison is between an industry beat and a sketch. Industry would be something that's overproduced, it's mega compressed, made for the radio, it's super, limited in the way that you use vocabulary and the concepts that are incorporated into the music. So it's very much a corporate way of making music. And then there's sketch or a scratch track, and that's sounds or beatboxing, just an idea down, not mixed really at all. So those are maybe the two far ends of the spectrum. In between, you have various kind of beats, and I'm not talking about genres or types of, like, is it a bopper, is it a banger, or is it a dance song? No, I'm talking about self-produced, in-house, collaborative, or a type beat. So a self-produced type beat obviously would be something that I would make. I started out when I moved on from the keyboard to the LPK 25. And then I had an MPD for a little bit and keyboard, and those got stolen. And I'm just kind of returning back to making music again this year. So we'll see what happens with beat making. But self-produced would be something that I made for my own music, for my own track. In-house would be someone within my collective making the beat for me, or maybe even within my label. The smaller, the closer it gets to, the artists themselves, the more localized, I think, the more in-house it's considered. And then a collaborative type beat, you can argue whether this is a whole different category or not, but collaborative would be where you're working with somebody else and you come together to make a beat. It's not just one person leading it. And a type beat, these are some that I've used more recently, and it's like some that you find online. It's made based on a certain type of artist or a sound, and you can go on there and just go right over them. As long as you give credit to the producer, you can release them publicly for free. So you can do that, but then make sure that you are paying these artists too if you're gonna sell the song. And is there a sample or not? These are the considerations you need to take when you're trying to pick out a beat. Is there a sample or not? Do you need to pay somebody, or you're gonna have to think about that later on? If somebody's going to come back and ask you for money for using a sample from their song, are you going to risk it? I wouldn't, just try to come up with an original track. And there are ways you can mix it, certain amount of bars you can take so that you can pull samples and recreate them. But like I said, it's just safer to make your own original song. And, is there any live instrumentation? Is there somebody playing music that you're going to have to consider too? And how are you going to mix that into the beat? These are things that you need to all consider when you're either making the beat or picking out a beat, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to mix in your vocals somehow, and it's going to have to fit in. You don't just want to lay it over the top. It sounds like it was just laid over the top when you lay your vocals on and just kind of drop it like that, which is okay, and kind of brings me to this last section. If you're doing a freestyle type beat, if that's your end goal, go ahead and just release it, like rap over something and drop it. Make sure to credit the producer and put it out there. But if you're going to do a single, you're going to want to get it mixed and mastered and get the instruments fitted around your vocals right. And so it's going to be a kind of a different direction that you go in when you're recording it, when you're mixing, mastering it, when you're dropping it. And then there's instrumental type beats too. And so these would be maybe something that you made, or just that you came across that you wanted to include in your album somehow, but you typically don't take somebody's whole instrumental and include it in your album. But if you had made something and you just wanted to drop it as an instrumental, more like EDM type stuff, but there's more and more of this in hip hop where there's no real room for vocals. It's just for listening pleasure. So that's another type of direction that you could go with beats. At the end of the day, you just want to consider what your plan is for releasing the music. Is it just for fun? Are you trying to do something professional? What kind of vibe are you trying to give off? But yeah, I would make sure to consider these things that I mentioned at the very minimal.